Who would pants at a time like this? True, true. Where are the pants? As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the German Zurich player. We have the blue Zurich representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the French Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. It is DnS. Here we go. And again, DnS, he wasn't looking too bad at all against Mana previously. Like, they had a pretty tense game number 2, and again, even DnS was ahead at certain aspects, at certain points. But things just escalated very quickly out of control towards the end of that game, with that Prism, with those reinforcements, with all the Zealots. Was torn apart, but we'll see if he can hold his own against Lambo. Of course, Lambo, he has been more informed than we've seen in quite some time. I think he's spoken on to himself how motivation can definitely be an issue at times, and Lambo does benefit from preparing for like a big tournament. Of course, Lambo is one of the few at HomeStory Cup that did qualify for the EWC, for the Esports World Cup. Lambo, alongside Gabe, alongside Showtime, the 3 German boys are all going to be there, of course. So there's that to look forward to, and they're very much so informed, very much so. So we'll see if DnS can keep up. For now, gate expanded to Cybercore, standard opener out of DnS. And likewise, that Lambo going for a standard opener as well. So far, so good. DnS does a fan out. With this just confirming the opener, just confirming the timing of the hatchery, making sure there's no shenanigans early on, like any earlier gases or earlier tech. Pro Scout's a little bit too late to block the expansion, but is able to poke it nonetheless. And we'll see how Lambo will approach this. Welcome to Persephone. Persephone is one of the smaller maps of the map. Well, I should say shorter rush distance. Shorter rush distance, very direct rush distance as well. Here we have seen a lot of aggression, a lot of German taxis. Lambo's quite fond of that kind of style, that kind of approach in this matchup, so that is going to be a viable option here for Lambo. We'll keep an eye on the lair timing. We'll keep an eye on some of the tech as well, to try to recognize that if we do go for an all-in. Otherwise, Stargate from DnS. Now, the location of the Stargate is peculiar to me. Typically, you don't hide the Stargate like this. Typically, you want the Stargate closer to the edge. And Stalker first as well. Yeah, Stalker first. Sorry, I should say Adept into Stalker. We're going to be keeping the Overlord pinned. We're denying vision. This is very suspect. Checking the rally here. There we go. Now, this isn't too crazy, but the goal is to bank up the Oracle. You can see the first Oracle is rallied here behind the base, and the goal should be to keep it hidden, make a second Oracle, and because the Oracles are going to be so delayed, because the timing is going to be so off, there's a high chance that Lambo skips his spores and is caught with his pants down by the double Oracle. Yep, so we're keeping one at home, and we're waiting for the second. So we're waiting for the second Oracle. You can see Lambo, he does have his Lings on patrol. What he's looking for here is the War Prism. He's looking for the War Prism. This looks like a Twilight Council opener. That's why, bam, early Roachhorn. So early Roachhorn here out of Lambo. He is being very safe. Again, expecting Adepts or Dark Templar. So he's looking for the Prism. He's getting ready for, I mean, the worst case scenario. We should be seeing a Spore in between the bases soon, just in case it is going to be DTs. Those guys on some Adepts. Lings are amassing, Lambo cutting workers early. And there it is, Spore at the third, a Spore at the natural. No Spore in the main. And here come the Oracles. As we mentioned, this is designed to catch the Zerg player off guard, catch him with their pants down. Lambo is being efficient, but that might cost him. Again, Oracles defend, drones are going to fall. He gets one, he gets, two. Bit of miscontrol there out of, bit of miscontrol out of DnS. Does miss a shot, only 2 drone kills. That's could have been worse. That should have been a little bit more here. And Lambo holds. Lambo, he does hold on. Now, what I will say, on the one hand, yes, DnS didn't kill a lot, and he could have killed a little bit more, I will say that, but Lambo, he was forced to invest into this. We have all these Ducklings, we have delayed droning out of Lambo, so Lambo's economy is actually worse than it should be in this game state. So he has a worse economy because he's been investing into this army, because he invested into the Roach Warren as well, units and tech structures that he didn't need. So this build here from DnS could have been a little bit better, but still achieved some damage. Lings, they poke in, they get one, they get two, they get, oh, up to three. 3 probe kills. The oracles, they will punish. They get a roach. Behind this, Lambo claiming a 4th base. Is droning, taking all of his gases, working on his lair. Now from here, it's a later Eva chamber. Later Eva chamber. I was gonna say there's a high chance it's gonna be plus on range into earlier Hydra tech, into maybe even Hydra straight into Lurker. We can see, nah, the other one. Spire into Muta. Oh boy. And again, this is just a really good way to take advantage of the fact that the upgrades are just gonna be heavily delayed. So for now, we're just gonna be ignoring it. It's gonna be skipping it. Eva chamber now done. And what's scary here is that Lamb is being active with these Ducklings and he's keeping the oracles busy. Ideally, DnS would be on the map. He'd be scouting, revelation, getting to the mineral lines, trying to confirm what's going on, but the oracles for now are stuck at home. Ooh, behind this, we do not have Blink. It's going to be +1 in charge on the way. Temple Archive, so Archon production, we do have an Archon drop opener, but actually, the gateways are done, and this is going to hit quite hard. He can just warp in the Zealots straight up. And he's going for it. Yeah, he's going for it. DnS is pushing. Here come the Zealots. And if Lambo was droning, he'd be in danger here, but he does make a wave of roaches. It's going to be close. Lambo, he was gearing up towards Mutatech. No upgrades either. Charge, let's say dive in. The Queens, they do respond. 1, 2, 3. Queen's going to be going down. Link's trying to engage. Like, this is good damage here from DnS, but it's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough. He's being shut down, being forced back. Zealots, Adepts, they do shade into the mineral lines. They do get eyes on the Spire. Nice scout out of DnS. Does scout. So DnS is aware Muta production has begun. 8 Mutas, that's more than enough to one-shot. To one-shot workers, I mean. To one-shot probes. The Overseer does go into the bases, just confirming what's going on. Phoenix production has begun. There's a recall. Yo, contamination on the Stargate. Let's go. Esther Lambo. Does contaminate, and here come the Mutas. Mutas towards the main, and the main army towards the 3rd. Now DnS is in position. Does have his army, but doesn't matter. Again, he was quite committed earlier, and he didn't really do enough damage. He killed some Queens. Killed some Roaches, but a brutal surround. And no shield battery. Yeah, no shield battery, no defensive setup. He has a cannon. Will deflect. That was a nice pick up here from Lambo. Does he know the stasis? He does not. Ooh, stasis good. Brutal stasis, actually. Does connect. DnS is holding his own. He is holding on. Behind this, trying to mass up. More cannons, more immortals, more stasis traps. Trying to keep up. Oh, catching up the army. Yeah, nice, very nice around here on those roaches. Very efficient trades out of DnS. He is trading well. Lambo dives into the bases. Oh, catches the Phoenix. Gets one. Gets a cannon in the main. Does magic box here on the Prism. Prism goes down as well. And DnS is all in. DnS is committing. He's not droning, he's not saturating. He's sending everything across the map. And Lambo did invest quite heavily into these Mutas. 24. It's going to be difficult to engage with the Archons. Once again, does dive in. Nice magic boxing. Does focus on the Archons, or focusing on whatever he can. Gets one, gets two. Oh god, more Archons have a... That's a lot of Archons. That's a lot of Archons, man. Yeah. Lambo forced retreat. Yeah, with that DnS, he will break down the expansion. Lambo trying to catch reinforcements. Speaking of, does get the prism. Not again. Happy not again. And forces a recall as well. I'll be honest, DnS, I feel like the base trade may have been the best option here for him. Like, recalling against these mutas, they're going to leave. He can't catch them. Muse catch a Phoenix. They go further into the main. They're picking up pylons. And DnS, he's racing back into his own main. He's giving Lambo more room, more time. Takes down the mineral line. 16 probe kills. He can rotate over and hit the expansion. The main army's moving in. Setting up for the surround. Oh. They do stack for a moment. Snipes the expansion. Pulls away. Yeah, just playing it safe, playing it slow. It's a base. Gets an Archon. Oh, god. Does take a lot of damage. Yeah. Lambo, he threads the needle, avoids the stasis traps, just barely, just by happenstance even. Okay, Roach is being dealt with. 14 probe kills at the same time. Oracles, they do dip in across the map. But Lambo, at this point he's done. At this point he's done. He has just torn that DnS apart. Gets into the bases. 27 probe kills. Depowers the fleet beacon, denies annual pulse crystals just barely. At this one, you could even just dive on the Archon. Even stacking. And again, DnS, I mean, his moment in this game was when he pushed out across the map. He killed the base, he took a fight, but he did choose to recall. He chose to recall, he chose not to base trade. And in that moment, Lambo, he was able to run away with it. Not saying that DnS would have won the game then and there, but I mean, that was his opportunity to do so. His chance. As the music just did so much damage. Once again, Muse driving the Phoenixes. They chase him down. Roach is going to be collapsing in. And we're down to one Archon, down to a handful of Stalkers. From this point, Mass Muta can excel. Go. Hiding back. Lambo does retreat, but the economic damage here is brutal. 20 probes. DnS is down to 20 workers. Down to less than a one base economy. Lambo across the map, freely mining. He's on 70 drones, taking more expansions and remaxing. It's free to remax. Likewise getting called out. It's getting called out. Leading out Phoenixes. Phoenixes are going to be falling, and GG gets called. Yeah, there's just not much left over here. Lambo will take game number 1. GG. Does take a lead. And again, DnS had his own moments in that game as well. We did speak on it about his own... I mean, he had a cheeky build, which didn't quite do too much damage. We saw him eventually though move out, break out, have that's the essential army I'm going to work with, especially early on before the muta count got a little bit too overwhelming, but alas was unable to break through. And with that, we're getting into game 2, getting into game number 2 here, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the German Zerg player, we have the blue Zerg representing Shopify. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the French Protoss player, we have the red Protoss. It is DnS. Again, I do recommend checking out the mainstream VOD as well. DnS, he was able to get onto the casting couch a couple of times, catch up with everyone, cast a couple of games. Always good fun. Always, always. As from here we are settling in. Is going to be the initial just hatch gas pull here out of Lambo. Likewise, DnS going for a gate expand Cybercore as well. Just catching up. Not seeing Gimme Ho at DWC. My heart is still breaking. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, it was very heartbreaking. I mean, that's how brutal the qualifiers were, right? I mean, now the qualifiers are over. We have our confirmed players, but so many players came so close yet so far. Players like Gumiho, players like Creator as well, players like Goblin. Yo, Goblin, he was popping off. It was crazy. It was crazy. Ryung as well. Ryung got very close, amongst many others as well. But that's StarCraft, right? It can be quite brutal. So best of luck to all the players that are going to be at EWC. That's, of course, going to be at the end of the month. And this is almost like a precursor to that. HomeStory Cup, I mean. There's still a lot of other events happening, right? There's the FE, there's the Fusion StarCraft, Fusion Esports League. There's RSL as well. True, true. We're all gearing up for EWC at the end of the month. But now Stargate. Stargate if now DnS. Now, as a reminder, last game, DnS had a peculiar build of intentionally keeping his Stargate hidden behind the main base, backing up the Oracles, and catching Lambo off guard. And again, it was a nice start. It was a nice start. Wasn't amazing. Didn't do too much damage, direct damage, but was able to achieve a lot of indirect damage. This time it's closer to the edge of the base, so this tells us we're just rallying. And you can see the rally as well. We're just rallying across the map. Just going to be a standard Stargate opener this time. And welcome one and all to Ultralove. Ultralove is, you know what it's known for? It's known for all-ins. That is a very small map, short rush distance by ground, short rush distance here from base to base, and we often see a lot of German taxis. I did speak on that in the last game. We didn't quite get that. We had just a more quirkier start to game number 1, and Lambo did embrace Mass Muta instead. But here, something more ground focused and ground heavy is a little bit more likely out of Lambo. The Oracle does move out. And so far we're just joining. We're just saturating, so we're going to be able to keep up with the Oracle. Queens are in position. Oracle gets a tumor so far. Nothing crazy. Oracles are moving out, so Queens intercept once again. Catching out the... Oh, good. Ooh, catching out the Oracles. Despite that, 4 drones go down. Nice damage. Queens are a little bit too late. The drones were a little bit too early. It's a nice punish there by DnS. I say third Oracle's moving out. Overlord confirms there's no crazy early tech. Not yet. Oh, that is a little bit different though. Okay, now checking the vision, Lambo, he did see the Robo. Seeing a Robo instead of a Twilight Council or Forge is a tell here that something's a little bit off. Robo into a Forge, into a delayed Twilight Council. This does feel like Prism into an Archon drop. That's what it feels like here out of DnS, which is quite similar to what we saw last game. It's quite similar. So this does look like a delayed Archon drop build out of DnS. Leading a collapse on the Adepts. Robo's finishing up. We're waiting for the Twilight Council. Has yet to be thrown down. DnS, he is banking up quite a bit. He is banking. Takes down the Queen, but we'll lose an Oracle. Brutal loss there for DnS, was not quite worth it. And again, DnS, he has a lot in the bank here. Minerals, gas. Oh, going for the Bay. Okay, a Bay and a second Robo. So we're not going into a Twilight Council. I mean, obviously we were waiting for it. Never was thrown down. Instead, working towards a Bay, working towards Colossus production. This is a little bit more old school. This is a build that we used to see from Showtime back in the Altitude era. That was what, like 2 years ago? Maybe more? It's been a couple of map pools since Altitude has been in the map, in the rotation. But I do recall seeing this from Showtime, and I recall this turning into a +2 timing, where you hit with +2, you hit with 3 Colossus. But before we can think about that, if you recall, we spoke about it at the start of this game. Start of game 2, we spoke about how, oh, Ultra Love, we expect German taxis. Do you see what I see? German taxi. It's coming. We do have Overlord speed, the layer's already done, Queens are amassing, Roaches are amassing, and we are going for the all-in. Yeah, we're going for the all-in. Now, it looks like we're not morphing in Dropper Lords, we're just going to be creating this creep highway across the map. Roaches and Queens, they can just walk across. Ooh. They can walk across, or we can morph in Dropper Lords as well. Regardless of how Lambo commits across the map, he is committing across the map. Okay, he just walks across. You don't even need the taxi back. We just walk. We just walk. Let's go. As the Overlords are flying on over. Ravagers are morphing in. We can see DnS trying to set up here in time. These are cannons, shield batteries. Colossus are on the way. The Colossus will help. Does force field. Does buy some time. Maybe he rotates over. Does rotate. The Colossus is out. He's got 1 so far. He's got 2. With 2 Colossus, it's going to be difficult to break the natural. Yeah, the armor gets spotted. Maybe he rotates over towards a 3rd. Ooh, does catch out some of the sentries. And 1 sentry goes down. Oh my god, they catch the Oracle as well. That was the Oracle and 2 cannons. Yeah, the battles were brutal. Colossus are trying to poke in, but there's nothing else here. Yeah, there's no support. Colossus on their own, they're vulnerable. And we can see Lambo start to step in. He gets 1. He gets 1, and he will get the other as well. No shield battery, no shield battery, no defensive setup here at the natural base. Again, DnS was not quite ready for this. Was trying to set up at the 3rd base, but it is just torn apart. And again, the rush distance on this map is just so short. There's a reason why all-ins are favored or are so common on this map. GG gets called, and Lambo will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Again, it can be quite difficult here to keep up, especially on Ultra Love from the side of DnS. Unfortunately, it was just a late scout as to what was happening, as to what was going on. Not just that, but it was also a very cheeky build. Very cheeky build out of DnS. He was not playing standard. Not at all. He was not playing safe either. He was being very tech heavy. Remember, he was delaying any kind of Twilight Council, any kind of blink based follow-up, or even his Forge as well, in favor of what? In favor of a Robo, a Bay into double Colossus production. Not just that, but if you remember, it was also an inefficient build as well, where DnS was banking up a lot of resources, and his Bay was later than usual. His second Robo was also later than usual as well. Everything was delayed because he was hyperfixated on the Oracle Harass, which didn't really achieve too much. So DnS, again, looking a little bit rough around the edges here, was a little bit inefficient when it comes to its execution, and on top of that was punished from said all-hit. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be getting into our next matchup here. Again, Lambo does take the win. As a reminder as to the context of some of these matches, this is the group stage round robin format, so everyone plays against everyone, and we did already cast this event live. But again, we were the B stream at the time, and we were covering our own matches, but there's an entire portion of the group that never got casted. Whether it was from us, whether it was from the mainstream, just never got casted. So we're here to catch up. Here to catch up on those matches. As up next, we have a PvP between Mana and Optimisk. Let's go.